We're joined now by Buddy Valastro. He's an American baker, TV personality, owner of Carlo's Bakery, and star of TLC's hit show, Cake Boss. Buddy, it's great to have you on the program today. I'd love to start with, Kenny, your thoughts on how the industry, the shape of the industry right now, how your business has fared, what you've heard from your peers, the folks that you've known for a long time. A lot of people are hurting out there. Things are not getting better. What's kind of your overall assessment right now?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's really a tough time in the restaurant, bakery, retail business right now. We're probably doing about 40% of what we would normally be doing. And realistically, especially like take New York City. New York City is probably doing maybe 5% of what it would be doing because it's just kind of, there's nobody there. There's Broadway's not there. There's tourists not going there. And my long-term worry is not only for the restaurants, but all the landlords, right? Because a lot of these buildings are leveraged. And, if you were paying, and I'm just going to use a fictitious number, but say you were paying $50,000 or $100,000 a month in rent, right? And your business is down, you're doing 40% of the business. Well, what could you pay in rent? So you're a landlord, you're getting $50,000 a month. Now you're lucky if you can get 10, and the business still can't make the money. The restaurant business is tighter than the bakery business as far as margins go. But when it's capacity. If you don't have, because I have a restaurant in the Venetian in Las Vegas in Buddy V's. It's an Italian restaurant, and we're probably the weekends are great, but during the week, that business ain't coming back until the conventions are back in town, and realistically, how long is that? You sit back and you think of COVID, and I know you guys do this all day long, but just from a guy like me, when is that business coming back? Think if you're in a convention business, you're the guy who builds the booths, the stands, the people who work in the convention center, whatever. You know how many that industry is finished basically for how long? Or if you're in the wedding business, right? Wedding venues. Think of the DJs, the photographers, the florists, whatever. There's a spiral effect that I don't think we have seen yet. Mm-hmm. As a country, and honestly, I'm worried. I really am.
Yeah, buddy, let me just hop in there here. What would you like to see from the powers that be? The powers that be in New Jersey, the lawmakers. How could they make your life easier, just from a business perspective?
Honestly, it's a tough situation. And people make it about partisan politics. Whether you're on the left or the right or whatever it is, and realistically, it was something that nobody could have fixed, in my opinion, right? COVID affected the world. It didn't affect America. And, there's countries that are more advanced than, not countries that are less advanced than us that it's affecting, and it's affecting us the same way. There's certain problems that until we open up, until there's a vaccine, until people stop dying from this, it's really never going to go back to normal. I wish that I had the magic pill that we could take and then we're going to go back. We got to try to strive for a vaccine, which we're there and we're closer. And, there's a lot of people I talk to that are like, yeah, they got a vaccine, but I ain't taking it, or they don't trust it yet. So, you have that fact. If my, educated guess would be this time next year, we should be getting back to normal. But how long can other businesses sustain? Think about malls, right? I mean, we're in a mall in Florida, in Orlando. Traffic's down 80%, like in the mall, because it's a highly tourist-driven mall and stuff like that. How do you survive? And then we're one of the only surviving business. There's 10 other stores around you that it's a no-win situation.
Yeah, traffic is a big problem. We spend a lot of time talking about malls here on the show, Buddy. I do want to ask about another part of your brand and your business on a bit of a lighter note and a happier note, I hope. is that you're coming back to TLC Food Network. You're going to be doing a show, Buddy versus Christmas. And one of the other things that's been interesting during this pandemic is home baking has really had a resurgence, right? I know myself, I'm not much of a baker, but I've been doing a little more baking than I had been. So now when you're doing a show like that, how do you change your approach at all? Or what do you hope to bring to people who are watching at home?
Well, I mean, for me, it's always about inspiring people to want to bake at home, whether, you're opening a tub of Pillsbury, cookie dough and slapping it on a sheet and doing it with your kids and creating those memories that you'll never forget, or whether you're trying to make one of the cakes that I'll make on Buddy vs. Christmas, as long as you're doing it as family. And I feel like that's the one good thing that's come out of COVID is that, people are spending more family time and doing more of those activities, which is amazing. I just, in my opinion, really hope that we could try to, I hope that business owners out there pivoted and diversified. See, I'm lucky in the fact that I'm diversified. I do television, and then I own a production company that makes the television, and then I own bakeries, and then I own restaurants, and I own real estate. So if you're diversified, yeah, you might be doing bad here, but then you're not going to do well there. I could tell you that I had a pivot in April, and my online has went, 50 times, maybe 300 times of what it was. And it opened my eyes. I'm like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm sitting back and I'm like, my wife don't go out anymore. She gets everything delivered to the house. So if I could really focus on this, and, we're on like a Goldbelly and carlosbakery.com, that's where the future is. So my advice to any entrepreneur out there is you got to pivot, man. This is the time where, you make your bones. And, I'm actually doing more and taking this negative into a positive and looking at business strategies that I might have not been so excited about, say a year ago. But when you take it back, it's like, hey, listen, all this stuff is coming out of one location. It's at my factory. It's easier to maintain than, say, 25 different people making it at one time. It's actually easier.